Hey, this is Simon with Caddis Fly Shop coming at you with a killer hidden bead March Brown wet. It's working perfect right now. I've been fishing it a lot. Works great. You can omit the bead if you want, but this is a great pattern, especially right now with the March Browns coming off, so stay tuned. Shuck back here is made of pheasant crystal flash EP fibers, pheasant up the body with some gold tinsel for some additional flash, a little more than wire. 1/8 inch or 1/8 bead, and then we have wood duck up here and partridge. You can omit the bead if you want or do a smaller bead, but it's a killer one. I'll show you guys how to tie it up. Starting here, we got Semperfly Nano Silk 50 denier in red. This is a really good thread for this one. Other small thread would work, but this works really good. Because it's so small. There's a couple moving parts on this fly, and things can get kind of tight. So having a thread that lies real flat, very low profile, but also being strong is just perfect for this. So right now I'm taking, this is root beer crystal flash right here, and I'm putting 3 strands in just towards the back. Don't worry about what your bead's doing right now. We'll kind of secure it, but you can tell I'm kind of measuring right now with my thread where that bead's going to sit. We're going to leave about this much space right here to work up front. You might need a little bit more, you might need a little bit less, but you just need to keep in mind you need to leave a little bit of space up there. Next, we're doing March Brown EP trigger point fibers. Just a small little pinch of them back here. And I'd tie it in lightly, and then I pull it through, and that hides all of those fibers, so you don't have to really trim much down. It's a little trick. So we'll trim down this crystal flash here. And then I'd like to trim the EP fibers just a little bit shorter. I'll splay out a little bit. And then we're going to do a pheasant tail. A couple of fibers, maybe like 4. Sounds good to me. And they have a general, you can see they're kind of tilting down. I like to tie them in going down because they splay out nicely. And again, we're tying in lightly. To me, that's a little long, so I'll pull it in, adjust it. Right there is what I like. And so we're going to tie it like this. I'm going to stop where that bead's going to be, bring it back just a hair. This will help build up a taper without burning through your thread. And now that's done. You can pop that off, you can snip it off, whatever you want. Next, I'm going to tie in, this is some Lagerton small tinsel, oval tinsel. This stuff is, you could use wire, but this has a little more flash, a little more of a kind of traditional looking March Brown wet. A little fancier, more flash, catches the sun just a little bit more than wire. So for those of you who like tinsel, you'll be happy I'm using it. It's kind of old school. It's not a whole lot of patterns use it anymore. Right now I'm taking another little bunch of pheasant tail fibers in here, and I'm going to, and again, just be mindful how much space you're eating up here. So you're going to want to leave a good chunk of space to work up front. So we are going to wrap this pheasant tail up just like that, and don't get too close. Also, don't do that. If that happens, you can kind of re-wrap it up. Make sure you're totally secured before you let go. And so now we're going to trim this excess off. Hopefully we didn't crowd the bead too much. Yeah, so if you do that, you can kind of push back and give yourself a little bit of space, which is kind of what I had to do. Ideally, you don't want to let go of your pheasant tail fibers like that. We're going to rib this this up right here. And tie this off. You kind of back that bead onto there a little bit. And then I'm going to do a couple of whip finishes here to secure the back of the fly down. If you really want, you could just wrap it around the bead, but to make it look a little nicer, I like to do it like this. So yeah, you want to leave a little bit of space to work up here. So now we're going to move our thread in front and put in a little bit of that mallard and partridge, and we're done. The hard part's done. This is the easy, just wrap and hackle part. So this is UV2 wood duck, dyed mallard. It's not really mallard. It's kind of cheating. Or it's not really wood duck. It's mallard. We're kind of cheating here a little bit. But that's okay. It's just a little wet fly. It's going to get chewed up anyways. So I like to take a little snip from both sides and stick them together. This is not really like a paired wing that I'm doing here. I'm just getting a little bunch of it, but I like to kind of match it and mirror it. And so we are going to get our thread fully secured on here. Like this. So I'm going to take a pinch of this stuff, about this much. And I like to measure like kind of back towards the tail, like about that much. And I'm going to tie this on here. And it's going to stick up like that, and that's fine. In the water, it's going to get blown back. And then I will take a piece of partridge. The skins are better. I know they're more expensive, but trust me on that. You get a million more feathers. It's way more worth your money to get a skin if you were debating. We are going to tie this guy in just like this. Make sure it's tied in real good in there. And we're going to take a couple of wraps of this stuff. If you didn't leave a whole lot of space, you might not have as much real estate to wrap, and that's okay. I'll show you a little trick you can do if you're running out of space. Okay, and so we are going to pinch this guy off, and I know it looks really ugly, but there's a little trick I'll show you. Get this little stem off right here. If you take these fibers now, push them back, you can kind of cheat, and nobody knows the difference. If you really want, you can kind of make it all even with where the fibers are going, but fish don't mind that much. As long as it looks kind of buggy, they'll eat it. So we'll whip finish here. I'm going to do a little bit of Solaris bone dry on the seal up the head of this fly, and it'll be ready to crush some rainbow trout for March Browns eating wet. I mean, this fly is so good for swinging for March Browns, and they kind of, sometimes they'll shed their shuck underwater, so the fish are just smashing the wets. It's so good. You can tie this smaller, bigger for different bugs. But for March Browns, this is a staple in your box. So if you tie some up, let us know how they work. If you have some pictures, tag us in them. We'll share them. Thanks. Bye.